Hi guys, since I've started making this YouTube videos, most of you are requesting for crafting tutorials and tips, things like that. So I've decided for my first video, I'm gonna show you how I make these pointy ends with rubber. So I know most of the time we encounter this problem when we make props or parts of our costumes with a pointy end. So oftentimes we just find ways to deal with that. Sometimes we use a Dremel tool or we just leave it be. But today I'm going to show you how I make this out of rubber. Okay, so first up, you grab, I use a cartolina for my template, for making templates. Okay, so now, first you start with making patterns. So as you can see, if you look at the shape of this figure, you look at it on the side, as a side view. Okay, so you try to trace that. So I guess it should look like something like this, right? So now what I'm gonna do is open this point here a bit bigger, like that. It's like parallel lines like that, and then try to come up with another point there, then open this up right there, like so. So now it looks like a bird's beak. The next, you just cut it up. Whether you use a scissor or cutter, it's up to you. Cut it up like that. Get rid of the bigger one. Then you start cutting through the piece for the template. And just cut on the end like that. Now you have your pattern. Well, the looks of it's gonna look a little bit smaller than this one, so yeah, we'll work on that. So now we trace this on our rubber. But before that, if you're going to make something with a pointy end like this, I advise that you put a bit of adhesive on the end to make the pointy end of it a bit harder or tougher. So, yeah, like that. Just put a little bit of glue there to make it hard and solid. The fibers of the paper will actually just absorb the super glue, so it'll make it harder. So it can endure a bit of more the stress when you trace it along the rubber. So now we're gonna trace it. So trace it on the other side. That. So now here's a tricky part. I'm not sure if you guys can see it clearly, but yeah, it's there. So now here comes the tricky part when cutting this. The problem with cutting rubber, especially in the pointy end, they tend to curl back or try to resist the tension from the blade. So the trick there is to start your cut from the pointy end of your pattern and then going to the more plain or more bigger part like this. Also, when you cut from the pointy end, you start cutting it with angle cut, like a bit of like 45-degree angle on the blade, and then as you go further away from it, you start to shift it into a straight cut like that. See? So it's a bit angled on this end here. Then you follow through from this side here, then cut to make it angled like that, and then you have a pointy end without making the tip of it curly or resist the cutter. Then you do the same on the other end, like so. And then you finish it off on the other end like that. And just break this off. You notice I didn't cut through this side here because that's gonna be important later. Okay, so when you join this together, both of these sides are cut in an angle, so when it closes, it's gonna make that triangular shape. Then you do it on the other side as well. Get rid of these. Again, start with the angle cut and then start adjusting it to a straight cut. Now don't get rid of this part here, because you can use this to help hold that pointy end into place when you cut it like that. There. Then do the same here, another angle, straight. There you go. Get rid of these. So now you're done with cutting. Now we start gluing these pieces together like so. So you start off with joining these two ends here with your super glue. By the way, this is a cyanoacrylate adhesive. It's like a super glue, but it is industrial grade, so it's stronger. But it's more hazardous compared to the household grade version, which is a super glue. So there, just close it up. Then you make a pointy end like that. See? Then you do the same on this other side here, opposite side. Okay, so now you have that part. Right, close it up. That. Okay, so now before joining these two parts together, you have to consider which one will be facing up or outwards, or which side is gonna face inward. So in this case, in this nail piece, of course, this is the inner part, the inner side, and this is the outer side. So this part shows more than this one. So you can start gluing this side together, the top part. You start with the pointy end first. So you add glue there. just a few droplets, then you stick them up together like that. Slowly but surely, stick them up together. Then you do the same all the way to the end. Careful now not to spoil the super glue. This is important here too, so you can hide the seam lines from the whole thing. Now this is the reason why I didn't cut through this end here, because sometimes rubber tends to disalign when you stick them together. So the trick there is, once you join them up, try to make the end line there as close as possible. Then you start, when you're okay with it, you can cut through that part. There. So that's gonna give it that smooth edge, unlike when you cut it before sticking it together, it usually ends up disaligned. So yeah, there. Then next thing you do, you just try to give it a little bending here, and try to put stress in it so it would take the shape, the cone shape, like that. So it's starting to look like our finger now. Now, on the other side, so this is the top side, this is the lower side, we're gonna start sticking them on the opposite end, like so, from here all the way to the pointy end. So it's reversed now. So we add a little more stress there to bend it. Then we start sticking. Yeah, those are our neighbors' car passing by. They like to horn their cars. Okay, so now here's the tricky part. Closing up this end here. So you have to be careful in this part here, because sometimes you end up spilling all those glues together. So in this case, I'm gonna use my nails to slowly close them together, like so. And then you're gonna see a small part there that still hasn't closed. Now for this end here, sometimes you can just cut it off like that. Then you have it. Now if you're a bit OC, and you can just add a bit more glue here on the open part here, and try to close it up using your finger like that, like so. So now you have your pointy claw. This technique also applies on different props like weapons, sword, also on the hilt part. So you can use this technique pretty much on every craft that using rubber. So yeah, that's it for today. That's it for now, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a really quick video. So I guess if you guys want to know a bit more, or want to learn something new, just leave a comment down below, and we'll try to come up with something. Okay, so that's it for now. Bye bye.